This episode of the Coarse Grind Podcast has been brought to you by Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, family-owned and operated screen printing and embroidery business located in a historic storefront on Old Berwick Road in the heart of Espy. They've been doing screen printing for over 20 years. They have high-quality product at a low price. Be sure to check them out. Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, 570-784-1212. Now, on to the show.
This is Tim Boach from the Barbarian Q with Shawn Rosler at the Coarse Grind Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is episode number 106 of the Coarse Grind Podcast. With you this evening, as always, host, creator, Shawn Rosler. How the hell is everyone doing this evening? You know, we've been keeping things pretty local lately. Blame it, I suppose, on the lag between seasons of Top Chef and the fact with the school year starting, travel isn't exactly a priority, let's say. So why do I sound so thrilled, so up this evening? Well, here's the thing. It's a funny thing when you realize great treasures are within maybe a drive of your house. And it's even more amazing when you realize that after one too many Manhattans, you could probably walk home from it. It's that close. But the best part, imagine food, drink, and hospitality on a whole other level that makes you want to keep coming back for more, and an owner who gets it like few others, and you have tonight's guest. The Lightstreet Hotel is quietly tucked away in the village of Lightstreet. It's steeped in the history of the Susquehanna Valley, dating back to 1856, when Peter Shook built the original tavern, quote-unquote, with brick burned on his nearby farm. Throw in a bit of a little event called, the Civil War, and Philip Keller, the new owner, the establishment became the United States Hotel, adding a large meeting and dance hall in the building's third floor. In 1910, the next owner, Frank Kimball, renamed the hotel after the village of Lightstreet, christened by Methodist clergyman Marmaduke Pierce, who had lived on, quote, Light Street in Baltimore as a boy. Now, naturally, we have to do some heavy-duty fast-forwarding here to get where we are today. Otherwise, this intro would go all night. Not that I would mind talking, but you would certainly as shit mind listening. But through some ups and downs, some lows and highs, tonight's guest acquired the Lightstreet Hotel in 2007, and it's gone nowhere but up since then. And I'll leave it to her to fill in the details. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, our guest this evening, the proud owner of the Lightstreet Hotel, located in Lightstreet, Pennsylvania, Ms. Amanda Dunne. How are we doing, Amanda?
I'm well. How are you guys?
Fantastic. Thanks for carving out some time. I know time is definitely of the essence, both as parent and owner, and I know you folks went through some loss recently. Our condolences on that. Never an easy thing.
Thank you very much.
You definitely have our thoughts. So glad you could be here tonight. Glad we could find out some time, and glad to get things rolling. Folks new to the show, folks with shitty short-term memories like myself, along with apparently pronunciation patterns. Starters, mains, and afters is the format of the show. Starters is where the guest in question comes from, how they got to where they are today. Mains is what they're doing present day. And finally, afters, a little bit more irreverent, a little more off the cuff. But no one has been injured, dead, or dismembered in 105 episodes, so I'm really hoping tonight's not the combo breaker. So, without further ado, Amanda Dunne, talk to me about where and what you grew up eating.
Okay, so I am a resident, grew up in Lime Ridge, eventually moved out to North Sarah Township, which is pretty close to where you're at, off Highly Church Road. Acquired my job at Lightstreet Hotel in 1999, right out of high school, and spent my time there, graduating Bloomsburg University and my grad school as well as Bloomsburg University.
There you go. Consistency, if nothing else,
time
right?
there with the hotel.
Right.
Yes. I'm a local, as they say.
That's right.
Yeah, planned on moving after graduating my master's degree, getting out of the area, as we all do, but something always brings us back, and I never made it out, and you know what, I'm not sad about that by any means. the owner that was there that I worked under, husband came down and passed away of cancer, and she was ready to get out. So
Sure.
she had approached me and wanted to see if at that point I'd been there for 9 years already, and asked if I would have been interested.
Mm-hmm.
There's by no means, any history of me, nothing background-wise of the restaurant business, only just working there, and experience over the 9 years. Business took a huge downfall with the marketing crisis, the housing crisis, the economical crisis, so it was tough.
Yeah.
But we decided to take on the endeavor, and I pulled in a business partner, Angie, who we grew up together in Lime Ridge, and we did it.
Nice. Now
took us.
Now go back to something for me
Go ahead.
real quick. You bring up Lime Ridge, and for folks unaware to the area. So here you are coming, as you said, without necessarily culinary credentials, culinary background, or what have you. Talk to us about like I kind of know it. I'm from Northeast PA, and I've kind of embroiled myself here in Central PA. Like, talk to me about what food is around, or food was around here. Let's talk about that. Growing up, what was it you noshed on? What did you come up eating?
So we were your Sunday. My family was the Sunday dinners.
Right
After
on.
church, you went, and it was the chicken and waffles, and it was
Ooh.
the dumplings, the chicken dumplings. Pennsylvania Dutch food. That's what we did. We were the meat and potato family. That's what we grew up eating.
Yeah.
And at that point, growing up, we knew as Lightstreet Hotel is a very elite dining. It was, you crumb the tables, it was linens and ties and collared shirts. And my parents would go there, I remember, very, very rarely, but it was a special occasion.
See, because that's where I was going with it, because I wondered, with you
Yeah.
being so close, you had to have had an impression of it, which I wonder if that reflects into your present day now.
So, with you saying that, remembering my parents going there, we're going to the Lightstreet Hotel, and we stayed with Gran and Pop.
Mm-hmm.
And over the years, it went downhill. Because the fine dining kind of went out,
Yep.
and a lot of the mom and pop places came in, the cheaper things, the dinerish kind of things.
Yep.
And we went there for our junior and senior prom, and my junior year prom that I ate there, I fell in love with it. I could hear people talking from the bar. Yeah, it was a long time ago. But I can remember going there as a junior in high school, eating dinner for prom, and hearing conversations at the bar, and the livelihood and the laughter, and people coming in through the front door, watching people coming through the front door that were elite people of Williamsburg. And I just thought the place was always just had this special aura about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went for a job there right after high school, and I was hired, and that was it.
So
I just fell in love with it from first sight, and here I am now.
That's right. So it's so funny because, you coming up in Lime Ridge, and I grew up in a little town called Honesdale, and it's funny the things we romanticize in the rear view mirror. When we think about that, and we think about the impression that it had, clearly it had an impression. I mean, for shit's sake, you own it now, so it definitely had an impact. But, now that you're where you are, and I mean, I can assume one of the questions I always like to ask is, when was the moment, you knew that food might be something you want to do, that you love? And I have to imagine a part of that was that junior prom. Is that safe to say you had a moment, or?
No. Growing up, I've always, I was never a snoop about any kind of food growing up.
Nice.
My parents will tell you. Like, it's, I never snubbed any food. I would try everything, but going out to eat was my most favorite thing ever growing up. If we got to go out to eat, it was an honor, and you took in every moment of it. And I always liked going to different places and trying anything that they had growing up. I don't know if they called that foodie.
I don't know that was a thing back then, but I think
I don't think it was, but now that I think about it, I was one of them.
Yes, ma'am.
Just bizarre things that I didn't mind trying, and it was just really neat. Going to Russell's downtown.
Yes.
That place always has a special place in my heart.
Yes.
As all of us that grew up in Bloomsburg and went there as children or, even in college.
Whether you grew up, I was going to say, whether you grew up here or you were a transplant here, like we came to know Russell and Maria, we had our rehearsal dinner there. I proposed to my now wife there when she, on her 21st birthday, hungover as she was. Smart move on my part because she couldn't say no at that point. But like, you're so right. There's these scenes, and it's so funny you say that because a lot of folks, and I mean, we're talking to executive chefs, will say, when I was a kid, when I was this, going out to eat was my indulgence, was my splurge. Mm-hmm. So it's so.
And growing up, we didn't go out to eat very much.
Right.
We didn't. That just wasn't our era of, we had home-cooked meals or whatnot, but going out to eat was always like, oh, yes, I can't wait,
Yeah.
My chef now actually started at Harry's, Hotel McGee. I'm sorry.
Oh, no way,
Hotel
really?
McGee first.
Cool.
He's actually started as a dishwasher at 13 years old there.
I love those stories, yes.
Yeah, and learned his way up, and actually he just went off to culinary school and learned, but he said he learned more from working at Hotel McGee under their chef than he did in culinary school. And that's just experience. And I don't care, anybody in the restaurant business, no matter if you're in the back of the house, the front of the house, you learn more by experience in this business and just dealing with things day in and day out than any piece of paper or schooling can ever teach you.
No, fact. Absolute fact.
You can get the fundamentals. Yeah. But being on the floor and being in the moment of the restaurant business is the best training you will ever have. Yep.
I never went to school, did a couple stints on the line, done some gigs, and I can tell you, you have to, I certainly think that if you go to these, if you go to a school and you get that foundation, like you said, it's going to be, worth its weight in gold for sure. So long as you couple it with a rooting in the fact, one of the biggest kvetches that I hear across the board is that, graduates are coming out of culinary school and they expect their Food Network show and their 6-figure salary right away. Get your ass in the kitchen and get your head down and prep those, 100 pounds of potatoes. Let's get to work. Like,
keep going.
Yeah. Don't stop. You're absolutely right. So, any experience whatsoever? Did you work in any restaurants coming up? I mean, outside of the Lightstreet Hotel, mind you.
So, no, I did not. I had a steady job at the good old Cinema Center of Bloomsburg.
Oh, classic.
Yes. But, it was fun. Let's just say that was my foundation of dealing with the public.
There you go.
That was my training with the public. But the hotel fell in my lap. Like I said, it went downhill pretty badly. And bartending and serving there and, working there, the absentee of ownership, I started running things on my own. And I saw great potential again in the hotel. And,
now you say running things on your own. This is before you owned it, correct? You were still just an employee, and yet I say just an employee. I don't mean to disparage, but you were doing this when you shouldn't be the one to do it, and yet there you were.
I was, and they put complete faith in me to do it.
That's awesome.
And, I mean, we were at a point there where it was like, okay, well, my God, I know what's coming in here. I can do this for a week. They went away. You know, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
But for that whole week, you think, wow, this place has been on the map for 100 and some years. And it used to be the place to come to. And it's a dinosaur. Everybody said, this is a dinosaur, Amanda. It's a dinosaur. Let it go. Let it go. And I just couldn't. There's something really, really special about the place. And it took us about 5 years of tears.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
a lot of tears, a lot of loss, a lot of hard work. But then we started seeing a change, and it finally came back around in our favor. Thank God. In the restaurant business, with any business, it can change in a heartbeat.
Because I was actually just going to jump in and say that for anybody who, watches reality TV, obviously I have a huge soft spot in my heart for Top Chef and for everybody on it, because they're very real about what they experience. And for every ounce of positivity that you see on the screen, there's easily metric shit tons of suffer, hurt, and heartbreak that happen behind the scenes.
That people don't see.
Oh my God. If you're going to cry, go cry in the walk-in. There's a reason why that's a saying. Like, there's no other field that's actually telling you where to cry your fucking eyes out at the end of a shift that you can't, or in the middle of one, for that matter, that like you're ready to go out of your head, or you are on the cusp of losing your home because of your passion. Like, people don't quantify that before they go, I'll just put my kids' tuition money on the line for a restaurant. Do some homework. For the love of God. It's not easy. It's not an easy path. And that's why, like, I was thrilled as shit the other night when Greta and I came and you came out, and like instantly there is a vibe. And I can say this with relative, I would venture to say authority at this point. I can tell when people get it. 5 years in, 100 episodes in, I know when people get it and when people are full of shit. When people are, pissing on my leg telling me it's raining. Like, don't do that to me. You came out, you were so real about it, and that just speaks to the quality and the experience that you'll get now. So from 2007 to like 2012 were kind of the dark ages, let's call them, of the Lightstreet Hotel. Fair statement?
It is true.
Yeah.
And, with everything that you just said is everything that my mission statement is. What that is for the hotel. I wanted to create a place of safety. Yeah. I wanted to create a place of, first of all, I hate the word owner and I hate the word boss. Mm-hmm. I wanted to create a place that was everybody's. Like you said earlier, we did just experience a couple losses within the family of the hotel. Yeah. It has hit us really hard. A lot of customers have reached out to me that knew this person, and it wakes you up to the restaurant business is more than just food and beverage. Our place is an extended family, and we take everything very, very seriously. People that come in, and I wanted to create that as a safe haven for everybody, and just a place where you could just walk in by yourself and not be afraid, and know people there. Yeah. So I'm hoping that I'm hitting my target with that.
Listen, I've put ass in seat in many a place, in many a variety of places, and I can say, and this is not blowing smoke in your direction. I tell people what I think about food. People who listen to the show, know this. I don't sugarcoat a thing. But when you can go in and you can sit down and you can feel comfortable in this space, here's what I love about it. Here's what I love about the initial space. Like, either you walk in the main door, folks, local folks know this already, but folks who don't, it's right off 80, west or east. Take the Bloomsburg Light Street exit. Like, put it in your GPS. Super simple. 1361 Main Street in Light Street, Pennsylvania. So, if you're driving by, you should at least stop by, have a beer, have something to eat, because listen, when you walk in, you feel every year of the history of the place.
Yeah.
But what's cool is you don't feel, how do I put this? You don't feel off-put by it. Like, a lot of historic places tend to have a stuffiness, like it smells of mothballs, figuratively, of course.
Yep.
There's no stuff to it. Here's the other part I love. I love that it's a little, just a little tight. It's not spacious. You don't feel like you're floating.
No.
You're next to people, and like, sometimes whether you want to or not, like, a conversation strikes up. And it's not the scary, like, you know, I've been in enough places where the conversation starts up and 5 minutes in, you know, like, you're checking for the nearest exit. Like, it's good. It's so good. And the dining itself is just comfortable, clean, beautiful, without being stuffy, haughty, or pretentious. Listen, when you have nachos that, oh my God, I have to tell you, it took us 2 days after to finish them. So that's a problem.
They're such a great breakfast, too.
They're yes, they were, and I know that because that's what I did.
Know,
they were fantastic.
Not very healthy, but it is. It's
no,
just there.
They are. And so, like, just as an overarching statement, then I really want to talk to you about, like, you know, where you are with it now, because I think your current story is so awesome. You know, in addition to, you know, your background, you know, in general now, folks, if you're driving by the exit and you're the slightest bit hungry, you need to take the trip off. Lightstreethotel.com. You know, again, it's literally, I shit you not, 3 minutes off the exit, and you're there, and you're not going to want to leave. I'm up the road. I know Amanda's up the road, but don't come visit us. Leave us alone. You do your thing. We'll do ours. But, you know, if you're going to go to...
the hotel gets you. It does.
That's right. That's right. They'll take care of you well. So, you know, here you are now, the owner of, you know, now what I think we can say with pretty utmost certainty, one of the more successful culinary venues in the area. Where are you pulling from to keep it fresh? Like, obviously, I'm sure you have a hand, in addition to your chef, in the menu, the offerings, and so on. What are you reaching out to keep that where you want it to be?
My employees.
Nice.
We are a very tight-knit group. Any new employees, past employees, I keep very close to me. Because your employees, your servers, your bartenders are the ears of your business.
Damn right.
They hear everything, negative, positive, or anything that we should do.
Yeah.
So we have a monthly meeting with everybody, and we sit down and everybody brings their notes and we collaborate. We are currently working on our fall and winter menu, and we have our fishbowl drinks. So, which a lot of people, that's very, very our fishbowl drinks are very popular. We're working up new fishbowl drinks, and we're also going to incorporate a new happy hour.
Nice. Which
comes from some of our employees' ideas, to do a 3 to 5 happy hour, battered and fried from 3 to 5. So we listen to our employees, and we collaborate our ideas in one meeting. And, so far so good. It has seemed to work. I have a lot of young employees, and I have older employees. So we meet common ground, and, because our clientele age range is from literally 80 to 21.
Oh, no joke.
So it works.
Yeah.
It really works. When you have someone in their 80s celebrating a 21st birthday at the bar, it's just really awesome.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Really awesome.
I would totally agree. For folks who remember episode 50, the live one, before that, again, the Lightstreet Hotel, in their awesomeness, was kind enough to let me guest bartend and do, you know, get a fundraiser going, because all the proceeds, as did with 100, went to the Bloomsburg Food Cupboard. And I can tell you, like, I saw former profs and I saw people I had to card. Like, it was quite the gamut, and you don't normally see that. Especially in a college town. Now, keep in mind, being a little bit out of town, I think we benefit from that. I think there's not as maybe
it does,
starchy a segment between the two, but still, even seeing those age ranges blend, it's really a thing of beauty. Just to watch it happen, it is remarkable. And again, as a result of that, I had quite a variety of ages from the ticket sales from the Lightstreet Hotel. Like, people I wouldn't expect to come out and see this, and yet there they were because they were at the Lightstreet Hotel and they bought a ticket to a shit show. They had no idea what was going to happen. Neither did I. And here we are 56 episodes later doing the same thing. So something works with that. Something works with the Lightstreet Hotel. You being where you are, Amanda, I'm sure, you get all the hullabaloo about trends, about what you want to stay on, what you want to be on, what you want to be doing next. Is there like a food trend or a drink trend for that matter, because you have both going for you, that you've heard about that you plan on embracing soon, or you're at least interested in?
Well, there's a lot of stuff coming out that, when we go to food shows, a lot of things, new things that are coming out that we would like to step outside the box a little bit. When we did take over the other menu, the old menu, just had your elite dining stuff. We have incorporated burgers, but the trend now is definitely more, forward, healthy, and so we do incorporate the healthy end of everything, but we also still have our pork fries special with cheese that people love.
Yeah.
So we try to keep the peace. In the restaurant business, you can never just keep the peace. Mm-hmm. You can't. But as far as our new menu, we're working very hard to, accommodate everybody. Health-wise, gluten-free has become huge. Yeah. There's a couple of my employees that have become gluten-free. So that helps with us creating a healthier menu section as well. So we're looking forward to our new fall and winter menu.
Awesome.
Drinks and beer, gluten-free beer. Nice. We're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to a new season and a fresh menu.
Awesome. Yep. Awesome. I think eventually I got to come down and we got to get a Coarse Grind podcast sandwich or something on the menu.
Yes.
I'll come up with it.
Yes.
I actually just did a tomato cobbler, fried egg, and ham on a croissant the other morning, and it was pretty spectacular.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah. We'll jump on something. We'll get there. But
yeah, absolutely.
In addition to trends, there are the trends that you'd like to see maybe not be trends. There are things that maybe you hate about the industry. What's one trend you see going on, and probably not in your house, but in other places that you just are sick of at this point?
Oh, I don't know if I want to say.
You should say. It's a safe space here.
Okay. So,
as it's being broadcast.
I know. Is the flavored beers. I just feel like the beer community is being too saturated with flavored beers.
So talk to me about flavored beers. What specifically is it? Like more the fruit flavored, chocolate flavored, or is it more the varietal? Okay.
When you so we accommodate everybody. Okay, sure. And I understand that these beers are the new trend. This is what's going on. When you salt a beer to make it taste like a pretzel. That to me, I'm a very old school person as far as beer. That's just where I come from. Like a beer is a lager, is a good lager, is a good IPA. But when you start having to add condiments to a beer, I don't know. It bothers me. Yeah. Now everybody else under my roof in the restaurant will argue with me, but that's where I stand. I think that has to be one of one of the things that irritates me. There's just so many beers out today that come and go, and it's just saturated. When you taste a good beer, you know a good beer.
Yeah.
And we carry a lot of local beer on tap, and that goes over very, very well. And we're happy to, carry those beers, and they're solid beers.
Again, you're bringing the parties together. You're being bipartisan when it comes to the
Absolutely.
beer. You're being the peacekeeper.
Yes.
Plain and simple. Plain
Yeah.
and simple. Although she doesn't like flavored beers, so let's just make
I
sure
know.
when you're at the Lightstreet Hotel, if you see Amanda, just say, "No, I'll have a Yingling lager," and give the bartender a wink until she goes away, and then you're safe to order whatever the hell you want.
I'll explain that beer to you, and I will tell you exactly what's in that beer. And I will do it with a smile.
although when she turns her back, believe me,
Have
those
a good
eyes are
idea.
rolling back in her head quicker than I'm kidding.
Have a
of
good,
course.
solid beer. Good, cold, solid beer.
Amen.
Now, with the restaurant business, there's a lot. Anybody that's listening now that's in the business, there's a lot I could say that people will agree with me, and we'll just keep it because
Yep.
this is what people say when
It
you're in the
is.
restaurant business. This is what you signed up for.
That's right. That's right.
That's another thing that, gets to you, but it is. This
Yeah.
is what we signed up for.
And Yep. You find yourself doing things and eating things, drinking things you thought you wouldn't. Actually, my first
Absolutely.
guest ever, opened up a chain of poke restaurants, right?
Mhm.
And she has a seafood allergy.
Oh.
But poke worked. How the hell does that happen? So, if you're ever looking for an illustrative case study of, having to do that, there you go.
Wow.
There you go. There you go. So,
That's a kick in the
you
ass,
got it.
So.
You got it. So,
God bless her.
so let's, 2019, coming to the end of summer, switching up fall, winter menus, heading into 2020, what's the plan? What's going on for the Lightstreet Hotel? And what's the 5-year plan?
Oh, the 5-year plan. My goodness. I don't even think that far ahead in this business.
And maintain when you're killing it like you are is a total option. I just didn't know, maybe you have some idea downstream. Is there a part 2 somewhere in Lightstreet? Is there, not that we have a lot of space to work with on Lightstreet, mind you, but
No.
is there...
You just asked a question that I have not asked myself in 10 years, Shawn.
I'm here to help.
had
I'm here to help, Amanda.
I had a goal list
Yeah.
when I took over, and I've been crossing stuff off that list now for the last 10 years. The 5-year plan, wow, that's a very good question. I'm not quite sure what's in store for the hotel or where I want to go from here. I will say, people often say, you need to expand. You should have more seating, and people get pissed off if they can't get a seat, and I refuse to expand because it takes away the charm of the hotel.
Would agree. Would agree for sure.
Yes, it once you go big, you go under is in my eyes.
I love that statement. Yeah.
Yes, you're taking away the charm of the hotel. Nothing structurally has ever been compromised. I like to keep it the way it is. And if you want to eat there, then you'll wait. You'll wait for a table.
Yep.
That's all I can say. You won't be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
The hotel's either your cup of tea or it isn't.
I love that. I love that.
But the
Dude, oh, that's so fantastic because, do you know how many times people have said, well, are you monetizing your podcast? Are you advertising? Are you this? And I'm like, no, not really. Because, if you want to listen to it, you'll listen to it. That's always kind of been my mantra, too. And so,
absolutely.
kindred spirit in that way, what a great way to look at something that you've put your heart and soul into. Because,
You bet.
honestly, and listen, folks, if you drive by it, you're going to have a bitch of a time parking. Get over that right away. And it doesn't matter what night it is. It's constantly, especially when Central games start going. Between the that other sports influenced place, which I won't mention, just,
Right.
because it's another name of a place in Bloomsburg, and the Lightstreet Hotel, which you'd much rather go to. It's packed on any kind of football game night or any kind of event like that night. It's remarkable, and so it doesn't have to be your cup of tea. And I think actually Justin Hummel from down at the Study Bar, formerly from Harry's, said it at our 100th episode, and I think it's great. He's like, look, I can't do what he was talking about, the folks from Wild for Salmon. I can't do what they do, or I can't do what Toby and Sarah at the Blind Pig do, And I really think at this point, I don't know that a lot of places, if any, can do what you do in the area. And I mean, take that as the highest praise I can possibly send your way.
I appreciate that.
That's the experience. And again, for me, dining is experiential. I think, you mentioned that, growing up, that was your big thing. You probably float to that, right? That, dining out isn't just about the food. It's about the whole journey.
You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely it is. And, just growing up, and I know it sounds so like, oh, well, who doesn't like to go out for dinner, when you're young or whatever, but it was the whole atmosphere of the hotel when I worked there that I saw something more there.
Yeah.
And more deserving that the place needed.
Beautiful.
Because it is 164 years old.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's amazing that a restaurant is still there in Lightstreet, a little village off of Bloomsburg, and I'm so, so happy to be a part of it. Justin, I love Justin Hummel, with my whole heart. And, he was brought up in the restaurant business as well with Harry's, and, he's done great things bringing the Study back into town. And Harry McGee, I used to wait on.
No way.
Years and years ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
The hotel was one of his most favorite restaurants to come to. So there's a lot of history between our ramp out front was built by Harry McGee because he was in a wheelchair.
That's
and
incredible.
He built the ramp so he could get into the restaurant. So there's a lot of history tied in with the hotel and just the town of Bloomsburg as well.
That's awesome. That's really, that's what it's about. I think, like, for me, if I traveled someplace, and like, look, folks go through Bloomsburg all the time on business, on travel, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stop by and get a bit of this history, because when you go in, you will feel it. It is there. It is.
Oh, yeah.
It's pervasive. It's all over the place. Yeah. And again, it's accompanied by great food, great drink, great service. I'm biased because one of your wait staff used to watch my kids. So, like, it's crazy, how small the small town becomes. But, again, whether or not you have a 5-year plan, I think you're heading towards nothing but greatness. And, again, with that sandwich aside, which I have to come up with now for you. Now I'm pressured. Now I'm like, shit, what am I going to make?
Come on. I'm rolling out a menu. I take everything into consideration. I mean, I like to make our menu personal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was going to say, every restaurant, even, the brew pub and the Study, everybody is eclectic in their own way. And that's what I love about Bloomsburg.
Yeah.
You just everywhere you go, you can get a little bit of everything. And, on a random night, which isn't very, very often at all, a night out with my husband, and when you're riding around town, like, what do you want to do tonight? Where do you want to go?
Yeah. And
people get pissed off because there's a wait for restaurants. They should be proud that there's a wait for restaurants.
Deal with that. Yes.
People are doing
God.
something right.
You literally,
you're doing something right.
You have the microphone plugged into my heart, because that right there, listen, you impatient, petulant people, listen.
They are.
If there is a wait, put your goddamn name in, find the bar, sit down and have a conversation, put your phone in your back pocket, look at your spouse or your partner or whomever, and just dig on their presence, soak in the ambiance, and just relax. Because that's
no matter where you're at, no matter where you're at with a wait, know that you are going to be fat eventually, and you're going to have a great meal.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
And exactly. I mean, the bottom line is you will eventually get sat down. Stop being so impatient. Good food takes time. Good ingredients take effort. So shut up and sit down. How about that? How about that, people? Stop giving your restaurant people shit and just relax. I'm sorry. Is that over the top, Amanda?
No, definitely not.
She's like, no.
Definitely not.
Matter of fact, come down here on Friday and Saturday nights and just, like, bark at people. All right, fine, I can do that. That's fantastic. I do that with my kids, so we're in good shape there.
Chill out.
All right, so nothing but greatness for the Lightstreet Hotel. Stay tuned to it. 1361 Main Street in Lightstreet, PA, 570-784-1070 for reservations, information, and everything aside. Let's transition into the afters. It's about that time. 2-drink minimum, definitely been fulfilled, so I'm feeling pretty risky here. Amanda, I'm standing in your kitchen, and you can pick whether it's professionally or at home. What music do I hear playing?
Frank Sinatra.
Nice! Oh, god damn it. Nice. Nice. Yep. Frank gets front row seating.
Yep.
Hands down, she said. Now, listen up, people. Get a little Sinatra going through. You're gonna feel it. It's gonna be good. I promise you that.
Oh, absolutely.
I promise you that. You, Amanda, fictitious scenario, if you will, are going to be stranded on a deserted island. You're only allowed to take 3 foods or food-type items with you. Inexhaustible supplies, but only 3. What would they be and why?
What would who want?
If you're stranded on a deserted island, and you can only bring 3 foods or food-type items with you, inexhaustible supplies, never runs out, but only 3, what would it be, and why?
Is vodka considered one of those?
Is what is vodka? What?
Yeah.
Yes, vodka is one.
Yeah, definitely vodka.
Love
definitely.
It. God, she's after my own heart, people.
Yeah, vodka, food-wise.
Vodka's made from potatoes, Amanda, so I mean...
I know, that's why I classified it under the food category. And if I take Tito's, that's gluten-free, so we're good there.
Yep.
3. Jeez, I don't know. I don't need clothes.
I love the fact that you thought of vodka and you're like, all right, I'm done. I'm out.
Oh, absolutely. That's because I think on a deserted island you could probably get different kinds of food for nourishment. So I'm just going to go with the vodka. Yeah.
She's thinking survival, folks. That's what I love. I mean, you have 2 more if you want to use them. Like, I don't know. What's your favorite, like, protein?
Boy, I don't even know. I don't know. I don't. That's a good question.
Oh my God, you're the best person ever. Like vodka, and you
honestly,
can't even.
You had me at being on a deserted island, which would be great right now.
Yeah, you and me both. All right.
Yes.
Oh man, so
I could learn everything else. Vodka would not come easily, so I could learn to do everything else.
Listen to that. That's logic I can't argue with. That might be the first ever 1-item answer to the 3-item question.
Tequila, margaritas,
oh,
yeah.
All right, tequila and triple sec, and you're covered?
Yeah, definitely. Jesus. I think we're good there. Yep.
Oh
everything else should be plentiful.
We need to hang out. Okay. There is a book that my show format is loosely based on. I give her credit every episode that I do. Melanie Denea's My Last Supper. Have you heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have? Awesome. So
you mentioned it the last time that we talked.
Oh, okay, cool. And then the next course, Marco Pierre White with the round in front of his face. I probably mentioned that then if I mentioned the first one. You know, and the concept of the book centers around 50 world famous chefs, but they're all asked the same basic question. You know, your ticket's getting punched tomorrow. What's your last meal? You know it's coming. What do you eat? What do you drink? Who's there? And why?
Definitely Anthony Bourdain.
Oh, don't do that to me. Beautiful.
I am in the middle of reading his book right now. One of his many beautiful books.
Which one? Kitchen Confidential?
I actually, one of my customers had dropped that off to me.
Nice.
After Anthony had passed.
Ah.
And I've always watched him and followed him, and trying to get into read his book with children and the restaurant business is hard. But
yeah, sure.
At the end of the night of the being at the hotel, I try to like sneak in at least a half hour of his book.
Yeah,
he is definitely one.
Yeah,
I would love to have sit down and had a dinner with, and somebody to have cook for me would be him, definitely.
Yeah. All right. So he's not only is he there, but he's cooking. Fantastic. And what is he cooking?
Oh man, my favorite fish is swordfish.
Oh, he could handle
so
that.
So it definitely would have to be something with that. I love quinoa.
He might give you shit for that. I'm not gonna lie, but
yeah, I know. But I love that part. I love. But I'm also gonna tell you, I'm a food junkie too. Like I like my greasy stuff.
Yes.
I like. I like my dips. I like my seafood dips. I like my spinach dip. I like nice salty tortilla chips.
Nice.
So it goes back and forth with me. I'm not a food snob.
Nice.
I like everything across the board. So
love it. And what's your drink of choice?
My drink of choice. Oh jeez.
You got nothing to do tomorrow, so.
So I like a good whiskey.
There you go. What kind?
I like a good whiskey. Locally, I'm a Crown Royal person. I like my Crown Royal. Now they come out with Crown Royal Peach that everybody's killing each other over. I don't find it very appealing.
Right on.
I just like a straight up nice whiskey. I did a stint in Nashville to see one of my old servers that moved down there. I went down to Nashville for 3 days last month, and boy, the whiskeys down there are just beautiful.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean
they're beautiful.
That's what they're doing in their spare time. Here in Pennsylvania, we craft brew.
Right.
Tennessee, they make whiskey. So get over it. We have our distilleries here. I get it, but you're not going to be Tennessee ever. Let it go.
We went to a bar, Whiskey Bent, and it just, I don't know, their whiskey down there. But I'm a Crown Royal girl, and if my go-to drink is probably a straight up whiskey, a good whiskey.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And last question, simplest and yet the most complex. And if you've listened to the show, you know it's coming, but no one's ever ready for it. What is food to you in a single word?
What is food to me?
Yep.
A privilege.
Damn. What?
A privilege. Definitely. I think we take for granted what's in front of us. And I think having it in front of us is a privilege to have. Yep.
I'm backing up. You just did what few people do. Definitely at the number 106. That's the first time that's ever been said. So,
yep.
Well freaking played, and couldn't agree more. Damn, Amanda Dunne, thank you so much for taking the time.
Shawn, thank you for asking me to be a part of this. I really appreciate it. I know how hard you work. And reaching out to all of us in the business, you have no idea how much we appreciate it.
I love it.
So we can get our stories out there. So
I'm a glorified fanboy, if nothing else. That's pretty much what I fall into with my spare time, I might add. So, but listen, when there is a quality venue in the area, I truly at this point, I've established, a microphone, a presence, whatever. I want to call this out, and I actually feel remiss in not featuring you till this point, but, so glad I did. Definitely not the end of you and I and the Lightstreet Hotel and the Coarse Grind Podcast.
Definitely.
So I think, folks in the area, you're going to want to stay tuned. I think we'll have some fun with this. We'll definitely take a run with this. But until that happens, until we have our big conference call, lightstreethotel.com, Lightstreet Hotel, 1361 Main Street, Lightstreet, PA, 570-784-1070. Make sure when you go in, tell Amanda what's going on, what's going through your head, because she's one of the few owners in the business who actually wants to hit pause on her day, on her evening, and hear about it. Because truly, and I mean this, people, if you're listening, she gives a shit like few others. I don't say that lightly. And again, Amanda, nothing but praise. If there's ever anything the show can do for you, definitely reach out.
Shawn, thank you so much. And like I said, we always welcome new customers, with open arms. So
Absolutely.
We're a family there, and that's just the small of it. So, but thank you for incorporating us. I really appreciate it. We'll definitely see you soon.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode number 106 of the Coarse Grind Podcast. With me this evening, the just incredible owner of the Lightstreet Hotel, Amanda Dunne. Again, they're located at 1361 Main Street, Lightstreet, PA, 570-784-1070. Check out lightstreethotel.com for more details. Our producer, as always this evening, has been the lovely, voluptuous, and svelte Johnny Leland Robinson, a.k.a. the Reverend Johnny Lamoria. Be sure to check out all his steampunk, libertarian, and fringe happenings in the 18431 Honesdale zip code. Next episode will be number 107. You won't want to miss it. Stay tuned.
Hey, do you like coffee? Do you like gourmet coffee? Do you like really amazing gourmet coffee that's a total steal and just happens to be based on a culinary podcast? Well, look no further. The Coarse Grind Podcast has teamed up with the Mr. G Coffee Company to create the perfect custom blend. Dark as the logo itself with hints of caramel, sea salt, and dark chocolate. It is luxury in a cup at an incredible price. Be sure to check out their site today, MrGCoffee.com, and order some now.